Hello everyone, this is Taylor, your internet friend and eternal comrade. Today, I had one of those random thoughts that really triggers a memory, and I figured, what the hell, I could use that transitionary little thought and make a video out of it. And so I want to talk a little bit about things that I don't care for. By no means is this a comprehensive list, just things that I'm averse to and don't really particularly hold dear. And it's pretty random, just did it, out of nowhere. It took me about 1 minute to compile this list, probably two, I'm a speed demon. But if you guys want more of these things, it's fun for me to think of because I like getting angry in my head and I can sit there with like a pad and paper, who am I kidding? This is 1975? No, laptop, and just write things down that I don't like. And so let me know, leave a rating, blah, 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 lip service bullshit here. So, first thing, the reason I thought about this is because of something that happened a couple weeks ago, and essentially I just got back to Columbia and I was going out with a few people to the bars and having a good time. This was before school started, but I got here about a week before class so I could have a good time and enjoy the last bit of my summer. And so at the end of the night, I was fairly drunk and I hadn't driven there, and so I got a taxi. And usually you're supposed to go out there and wait for the taxi if you're being polite, but it was pretty hot out, and so I was waiting in the bar waiting for them to call me. Now, by random happenstance, they get there, the cab gets there, and I start to walk out as it's pulling up. But as I'm about to go over and talk to the cabbie and have him, drive me away, and I'm positive this was my taxi because it was the same, brand and the same dude even. I could see the dude. I had driven with this dude before. And so I'm walking out there to get in the cab, and suddenly these two girls walk right in front of me, and they start to get in the cab and tell the guy where he's going. Like, one of them's leaning in the passenger side window, and the other girl's getting in the back already. And it's a taxi driver. He doesn't give a shit. He just wants to drive people around. So he just starts letting them in. And I was gonna say something, and then I was like, shit, I'm just gonna look like a real douchebag if I call these girls out on this right now. People are gonna think I'm just some selfish, anti-chivalry monster of death and misogyny. And that really bothered me, because the same thing happened last year. A girl came over and she broke something of mine that was worth a few $100s, and she didn't pay for it. I didn't ask her to pay for it. But if a guy friend or even a guy acquaintance had come over and broken something of mine, or if a guy acquaintance or any random guy had walked in front of me and tried to get in my cab, I'd be like, whoa, 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 son. Like, what the hell are you thinking? Like, this is my cab. I waited for it. It's mine, and that's my object. You broke it, and you owe me money. That's how it would go for any situation with like a dude to dude. But when it's a guy and a girl, you have to be like, oh, shit, I have to bite the bullet on this one. So that irritates me. That double standard is aggravating. It's frustrating. But thankfully, it's not like a daily thing where like women are running around my apartment just smashing things and being like, ha, you can't make me pay you back. But just a small little, triviality in life. Another thing that really pisses me off is handicap parking. Who really needs handicap parking? And I guess it only really irritates me because I guess they have some special clause in, the annals of the law about how many parking spaces or handicapped people you have to have on a college campus, because there is one really prime, location in the middle of my campus where I can park and get to all my classes really quickly and then run back and zoot home, really easy. Now, in this area, there's probably like 45 parking spaces, so it's not a huge area. And of those, I've counted before, 15 of them are handicapped. And this isn't like next to some handicapped, giant, huge temple of people with disabilities, so they're all getting out and going up there and wheeling up there or whatever they do. Like, this is just in the middle of campus. Like, why? And I've never driven up there and seen more than 4 handicapped people there at a time. And 4, if you see 4 handicapped people there at the same time, you're like, Jesus Christ, like, these guys must have come together and are doing something, because there's no way, by random chance, this all happened, So there's no way, unless, like, the circus comes in town, the paraplegic circus or something, they're not going to be, all packed in there and filling it up. So it's just a waste. And, what's the point anyway? Like what percentage of people do you think are really handicapped? And of everyone who is handicapped, do you think all of them park there? No, these spaces aren't any closer than the other ones. These handicapped people could just as easily wheel from that other space down as they could from that space. Like, why? Why is that a big deal? It just takes away, it just pisses me off. Gosh darn it. Well, gosh darn it, it pisses me off when I'm a little bit late to class and I pull in there and I see 15 just prime location spots, like a free apartment in, Orange County, and I can just walk in there and occupy it, but nope, can't, because it's reserved for handicapped people, and I'm not handicapped. I'm going to break both my goddamn legs so I can park there and go to class easier. I'm just kidding. Jesus, got a little bit too Am I getting hot because I'm angry at handicapped people? Of course, that's what someone's going to say. This is the internet. I could, just by mentioning handicapped people, someone's going to be like, you're insensitive. And it's like, maybe you're one of the people who needs that parking. Can't find your way into the building without running into a tree. All right. I really dislike Hayden Christensen. Not much else to say about that. When he was fighting Obi-Wan in the movie, the Star Wars movie, he was Anakin, and then Obi-Wan was obviously Obi-Wan. And he goes like, "You underestimate my power." It was like the gayest little, just feeble, just little, like one of those farts that just doesn't even make a sound, just like, you know, it was that much of a fight. Like, you know, you were expecting this thunderous big thing, but then nope, he sucks ass. And then just goes straight from sucking ass to badass Vader, which doesn't really make sense to me. Whatever. Maybe it's all in the suit. Another thing I dislike are people who are contrarian on everything, and by that I don't mean someone who hears BS and then calls someone out on it even if it's uncomfortable in the present situation, although that can be inappropriate socially. I'm talking about people who just have to have a different opinion on everything, like the kind of people who, after they saw The Dark Knight Rises, or after they saw any phenomenal movie, like they can watch The Shawshank Redemption, and then afterward, when everybody else is lauding their praises upon it and just talking about how fantastic this film was, they're going to sit back and be like, "Oh, it was okay, I thought this part was overplayed." And then they can watch some bullshit with some indie artist who like throws balloons full of horse semen at a wall and then watches it dry on a, you know, piece of shit camera that's standing in the corner while the dirty, dingy apartment is the location of the scene, and that guy's going to pretend like it's some brilliant piece of art, and you talk about it like it's shit, and he has to pretend like it's good because you think it's shit. You know, just that guy who always has to... Usually this kind of person is the same person who tells like one-upping stories. It's like if I told a story like, you know... My great aunt was mauled by a bear. He'd be like, my great grandpa fought 3 tigers and lived, then was killed by a pterodactyl. Last living one, true story. Or shit like that, you know. And then they'll follow that up with, you'll be saying like, "You know what? I think baby rape is wrong." And they'll be like, "Well, you got to look at the context, you know. I don't want to talk about, you know, something like that. We got to really know what we're dealing with. What kind of baby rape? You know, we don't want to be hasty here, just to be contrarian." So yes. I also hate it when people get uptight about bad words. Like, think about what that says about yourself. If you get uptight about a bad word, that says that you put the power to impact yourself and your level of comfortableness in the hands of others in society. So that all that person has to do is utter a word or a few sounds or syllables, and it makes you uncomfortable. Do you know what kind of power that is giving someone? Like, that's ridiculous. How it just seems immature to me. You know, if I say shit and that really gets under your skin, I'm sorry. I have to say that that's indicative of someone who's weak-minded. You know, it doesn't make sense. Why would you be offended by a word that I choose to use? Now, understandably, there are situations where the context would indicate that, yeah, it is really offensive. But if you're just joking around and you say, "Oh, goddamn," or "shit," or, you know, "ass munches," or something like that, like, if someone really gets offended by that, it's silly to me. Very silly. But thankfully, since 3rd grade, those people have really fallen out of the population for the most part. Sorry, 3rd grade subscribers, if you're out there. Guaranteed I'm going to get some kid who's like, "I'm 11. Or is that 3rd grade? No, wait, that's really not even that young. I'm 7, 8. I don't know. I forget my grades. Damn it. Should probably go back to school. Oh, yeah, last thing that I really just don't care for is when rich kids act like they're from the city, and this is especially prevalent where I'm from because I'm from a suburb of St. Louis, and St. Louis is a pretty dangerous area to be. St. Louis, the city, not where I live. I'm not pretending I'm some hard ass, you know, but it's just irritating when my like white friends who went to this private school and paid thousands of dollars a year to go there with our nice clothes and our nice cars and our nice houses, and then they'll come to school and be like, "Where are you from?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm from St. Louis, man. I'm from St. Louis. I rep in the hood." It's like, no, you're not. You come from, you know, friggin' Ladue or somewhere really nice out here. So that is troubling to me on a deep, deep level. Anywho, that's about it. If this was entertaining and you enjoyed it, then leave a rating. I mean, that goes without saying. If it really did go without saying, I wouldn't have said it. Kind of a useless, you know, suffix to that statement. Anyway, that's it. Love you. The end. Amen.